I just wanted to put all of these commands in one place. So if you guys ever need them or want to refer back to them, you can come here and you can get what you need. As we already know, this is a beta. So if you ever get stuck on the loading screen, this screen right here, what you want to do is you want to hold the power button for 10 seconds in the back, and that will be a hard reset. And once you do that, you should be golden. You should be just fine. You do have sub menus here below the keys: tap master, menu browse, main grid, mix sampler, so on and so on. And yes, you can hold down shift and access any of those sub menus. But if you didn't want to do that for whatever reason, maybe you're lazy, maybe you just don't feel like holding down shift, you can do a single action by just double pressing any of the keys with the menu, sub menu, and you can get into that screen by just double pressing. We already know if you hit menu, you can tap any of the icons on the screen to get into that particular menu icon, but you can also hold down menu and you can tap the pad to the corresponding icon. So next sequence here is going to be pad 1, MIDI learn is going to be pad 2, control is going to be pad 3, song mode is going to be pad 4. So if I was to hit song mode, I will hold down menu and hit pad 4. Hold down menu, go into track edit, hit pad 10. If I want to go to sampler, I hit pad 7, like that. That's another good thing to know when you're trying to move around the MPC Live II. If you ever want to turn your metronome on and off, you can hold down shift and hit play start. You'll see metronome off on the screen, metronome on, off, on. Hold down shift and hit play start. If you hold down shift, you can turn your timing correct on and off by hitting timing correct or TC in the top right hand side of the screen. By holding down shift, you can hit that to turn your timing correct on and off. You can also hold shift and toggle your plus minus buttons to go through your submix options and your returns and your outputs on a track. If you hold down shift and you toggle the plus minus buttons, you can go through all your other options on the track. If you hold down main, you can go into your track view, select track, and you can, I only have one program here, which is drum 001, but you can also go through your submix, your returns, and your outputs here as well by holding down main. And you can see everything that you have going on in your tracks, in your programs, or whatever it is. And you can just go through your options here, submixes here, returns, and outputs by holding down the main key. Just like the SP44 MK2, which has a skip back, the MPC Live II also has a retrospective record. That's what they call it. Where you can go back and get some of the things that you didn't record. It's always recording and capturing your performance in the background. To get that recording, you hold shift and you can hit record or overdub. And we can see here, I don't have any retrospective recordings because I haven't been recording anything. But if you ever need to go back and get something that you recorded or something that you liked and you didn't have record pressed or you forgot to record it, you can always hold shift and hit overdub or record to capture those recordings that you may have forgot to hit record. If you ever want to adjust your tempo on the fly, yes, of course, you can just go to the tempo and turn the knob here, but you can also just hold down the tap function and you can adjust it here. If you ever want a larger window or you just want to hold the tap key, you can adjust your tempo here as well. You don't have to go up to the tempo window and adjust it there. If you ever want to adjust your tempo tenths, which is the number behind the decimal, maybe you want to get a little more precise. Maybe you don't want to use a whole number and maybe it's 125.10 or 125 20 or something like that, you can just hold tap and then hit shift and toggle the plus minus, and then you can adjust your tenths that way if you want to get more precise with your tempo. Here's a good one. If you are ever on your main screen and you want to get into your pad mixer or your program mixer, if you hit mix once, it will take you to your program mixer. If you hit it again, it will take you to your pad mixer. So in other words, this mix key actually has three functions. Not only can you get into the sampler by hitting this, double pressing it really quick, it'll take you to the sampler. It will also take you to your program mix screen. And if you hit it again, it will take you to your pad mix screen. And while we're on the topic of that, I just wanted to say, if you also in your program mix screen, if you hit settings, you can change that solo button. Your solo button, you can change that to Q. If you're ever playing live and you want to hear what the track is doing while you're playing or before you play out to your audience, you can always select the Q icon, which is the little headphones, and you can hear what's going on in your headphones before you release it to your audience. And that's in the settings here on the program mix screen. Just wanted to point that out to you guys. I'm sure everybody knows this. If you hit stop twice, it will stop all sounds. Hitting stop twice. So if you have a long sound playing, a horn or something like that, and you want to stop all the sounds, you just hit stop twice and that'll stop everything. If you have a function that's far away from the shift button and you need to lock it in place, you can hit the shift button twice, hit a shift lock, and then you can go ahead and hit whatever the function is that you're trying to do. I don't really like it. The shift button is only locks for like 3 seconds or something like that, but I still wanted to point it out for you and explain what it was for. If you feel like being lazy and you don't feel like hitting shift and hitting whatever function you want to do, you can always lock the shift and then hit what you need to do. If you need one hand free or whatever, or maybe you're using this hand to do something else, a good live quick key command is to just shift lock it and then go ahead and do what you need to do. We already know that play start always brings your playhead back to the beginning of your sequence while the MPC Live is playing. But if you're ever stopped and you want to bring that playhead to the beginning, you hold shift and you hit stop, and that will bring you to the beginning of your sequence. Let's say you want to get ready to play something, but you're not really ready to play it. That's how you do it. You hold shift, you hit stop. It'll always bring the playhead to the beginning of your sequence. Mute modes. If you hit mute once, you will enter your track mute mode, but in order to enter your pad mute mode, you hit mute again, and it will take you to your pad mute mode, where you use the pads to actually mute the tracks. But the track mute mode, you can mute whatever programs you have going in the sequence by track. And that's going to bring this one to a close. I just wanted to make sure I put all the key commands in one place. Of course, if you guys know any other key commands, if I left out anything, please put it in the comments for anybody else that may need it coming behind us. All right, keep doing what you're doing. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.